Hello and welcome into the first episode of Beat the Bookie here in the spring semester. I'm your host, Nick Zelaya, and it's an exciting time to be sports betting here in upstate New York. Thank you to the lawmakers for allowing us to finally use our favorite apps and throw some money on teams half the time we have never heard of. But now that I'm 21, it's time for me to help you win a little of that green paper stuff. But first, before we start, let's remember what happened in the fall, and it wasn't pretty. The folks here lost a total of $182.41 throughout the semester, and I guess that's an improvement from the previous spring. We're turning things around here in 2022. It was a rough stretch, but here we go. It's a new semester, and I'm making my debut. Let's talk a little beginner's luck. I'm feeling it today, so let's get right into it, starting with our big games in the Big East between number 17 UConn and number 12 Villanova. Both teams are coming off tough losses earlier this week. Nova to Marquette and UConn to Creighton, and neither team played well. Villanova trailed from the tip, and UConn shot a season low 30% from the field. But these are two teams that will slow down the pace of the game, and this is the type of game to go down to the wire. Don't expect much scoring, especially with the Huskies defense that has been one of the best in the entire nation. I can't see the Huskies shooting as poor as they did against Creighton, and if Nova is not on their game, the Huskies can absolutely take advantage. UConn isn't going to put up 80 to 90 points on offense, but if someone like R.J. Cole or Tyrese Martin can provide 20 points and you lock down defensively, gives you a really good chance to win. I'll put $10 on the UConn money line at plus 195 to go into Philly and get the upset. Let's move to a top 10 battle in the Big 12. Number 8 Baylor traveling to Allen Fieldhouse to face number 10 team in the country, Kansas. Baylor hasn't suffered that championship hangover, sitting at 19-3, and even after losing some key pieces from that team last year, Scott Drew has continued to win games by going deep in his bench and getting production from 8 to 9 players every single game. The defense has been an issue, though. Teams are shooting lights out the past few games against the Bears, Alabama, and West Virginia, and that's why I think Kansas defends their home court and gets the win. The Jayhawks had an embarrassing loss last weekend at home against Kentucky, and they won't let another team come in there and dominate the way the Wildcats did. Ojai Obaji and Christian Brown or Jalen Wilson are too good of scorers to have another bad night like last Saturday, so expect Kansas to shoot really well and come out with the win. I'm putting $10 on Kansas to cover. We'll keep chugging west and get to the Grand Canyon State for a Pac-12 duel between number 7 Arizona and number 19 USC. Thursday night was the best I've seen Arizona play all season, and now sitting on top of the Pac-12 alone, this might be just the start for a team who could really make a push towards the second weekend when the tournament rolls around. Benedict Mathurin has been arguably the best player in the conference this year, averaging just under 17 points per game, and Tommy Lloyd has done a great job taking over this program and turning it back into a serious contender after a year where they missed March Madness last season. USC beat a 6-13 Arizona State team by 5 on Thursday and a 9-14 Cal squad last weekend by 7. My trust in the Trojans pulling off an upset on the road or even staying competitive with Arizona is down here. I'll easily take the Wildcats to cover the points, $10 on that, and I'll even prop it with Arizona total points at 84.5. Take the over. The Wildcats are averaging 86 points per game, and USC hasn't seen an offense like Arizona all season. Arizona has shot over 48% from the field in 6 of their last 8 games, and the Wildcats have 4 guys averaging over 11 points on the season. So if the Trojans are not locked in defensively, it could be a long night. I'll put $5 on Arizona to score a ton in this one. We'll now move over to my picks of the week, and it starts off in the SEC with the number 1 team in the country, Auburn, against Georgia. The Tigers won by 23 a few weeks ago, and I see a very similar game today with the Bulldogs having no answer for an Auburn team who as of late is starting to shoot the ball really well. We'll throw that Missouri game aside. The Tigers are winning by an average of 13 points per game in conference play, and the guy to watch to have a huge game is Walker Kessler. He's averaging 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 blocks per game over the last 6 contests. And Georgia really doesn't have anyone that could stop Kessler, so it's a steep number, but hey, it's the number 1 team in the country. Throw 10 on Auburn to cover the 16.5 points. Back to the Pac-12 for Oregon at Utah. Please give some respect to this Ducks team. I know they were bad to start this season, but since January 1st, they've won 7 of 8, including wins over UCLA and USC. Jacob Young is one of my favorite players to watch. He has scored 16 or more points 5 times over those last 8 games. The Ducks are first in three-point percentage in the Pac-12 and second in field goal percentage, just behind Arizona. This team could really shoot the rock, and Utah, they went from 8-4 on December 21st to 9-14 very quick. So Oregon is in a good spot to pick up another conference win. $5 on the Ducks to cover against Utah. And of course, we can't leave out Duke at North Carolina this weekend. The final time Coach K will step foot into the Dean Smith Center to coach a basketball game. And there always tends to be a theme when these two square off. It's scoring and at a high pace, especially this season. Both teams are in the top 3 in the ACC in points per game. Duke led by Paulo Banchero and Wendell Moore. And for the Tar Heels, Armando Bacot and Caleb Love lead the pack, both averaging north of 15 points per game. I don't know how much defense might be played on Saturday night, but if there is any of it, it will be in the second half once either team decides they want to win the game. I'll take the first half over in this one at 71.5 points. We're flying all over the country right now, but let's go down to Tuscaloosa for my lock of the week. A classic SEC rivalry between number 5 Kentucky at Alabama. I love this Kentucky team. I love that Coach Cal has brought in veterans through the transfer portal like Oscar Tshiebwe and Severe Wheeler, but Alabama is really good, and they've had a couple tough losses throughout the season, but this could be a game where the Tide can hit their stride and pick up a huge win. They just did it last weekend against Baylor. Another top 5 victory is very possible today with Jaden Shackelford averaging 22.5 points per game over the last 5 games. Alabama loves to beat top-ranked teams at home in back-to-back weekends. They did it in December against Gonzaga and Houston. The biggest upset of the day will be down in Coleman Coliseum. Alabama will cover and get the win. For my dog of the week, we visit the Big Ten in Madison, Wisconsin, where the number 11 Badgers host the Penn State Nittany Lions. And give me Penn State. The Nittany Lions are coming off a huge double overtime victory against Iowa on Monday night, and that momentum will carry with them into today's matchup with Wisconsin. Penn State had 53 rebounds in that win, and guess what? Wisconsin is not a good rebounding team, so Penn State should take advantage of the rebounding game today. And for the Badgers, they shot horrific in that loss to Illinois. In fact, they haven't shot well all year, sitting dead last in the Big Ten in field goal percentage. Seth Lundy and Jalen Pickett need to hit their shots for the Nittany Lions to win, and I think they can, while also keeping the Badgers in check. Give me Penn State money line at plus 320 for $10. Wrapping things up with a little parlay, and I'm very confident we will win some big money, staying up late while everyone else sleeps. I've got all Pac-12 teams. First, Arizona. We already talked about the Wildcats. They're now atop the conference, and after a huge win over UCLA, this is one of the best teams in the country. And Los Angeles Universities will go 0 for 2 facing Arizona in a span of 72 hours. Oregon has a tough road test, but the Ducks have beaten some really good teams as the visitor. Dana Altman's squad is 3-point favorites and facing a Utah team who just snapped a 10-game losing streak. Doesn't give me much hope for them to do much against Oregon. And finally, let's throw in UCLA to cover 11.5 points on the road against Arizona State. I know UCLA didn't look great against Arizona the other night, but this is still a top 10 team in the nation, and the Sun Devils have just as many postponed games as wins this season. Mick Cronin has turned the Bruins into a team capable of a Final Four run every year, and tonight's game should be a trouble-free one to get back on track. Expect big numbers from Juzang, Bernard, Triple J, Tiger Campbell in a very dominant win. So those are my picks for a full day of college hoops. I started off with an upset for the Huskies in a top 20 Big East battle, but my eyes are all on the Arizona Wildcats. That's where most of my money is going today. I think they have a huge day against USC. Score in the 90s potentially. Shots will be falling for the boys from Tucson. My lock is Bama covering and getting the upset win over number 5 Kentucky at home. Nate Oates has a formula to beat those top teams, and I think he'll do it again today against the Wildcats. So that'll be all the time for Beat the Bookie today. Shout out to our new producers, Braden and Diesel, of course. I've been your host, Nick Zelaya. Enjoy all the college basketball today. Place your bets, and we'll see you next time.